Hey everybody, it's Barbara, and this is going to be the beginning of my reviews of the 3 W Club dolls for 2018. And you're already probably saying to yourself, well, if this is the W Club dolls, why is the IFDC Poppy Parker box front and center? The reason that it is because I wanted to create a video where I just take a moment to talk about the new packaging itself before talking about the packaging and the dolls. I think they've really upped their game with packaging. I know I talked about this with the Poppy Parker. Well, it seems like they're going forward now with Fashion Royalty and NuFace, as you'll see in a second. And they've continued to up their game. This opening will be the opening for all 3 W Club dolls. So after you watch one, you can go ahead and forward through to the end of this segment and then go ahead and just watch the review of the dolls. But back to IFDC, the International Fashion Doll Convention that took place in July in Las Vegas. There were 4 Poppy Parkers that were part of a convention collection. And they all came in this lovely box, which was highly unusual in its design. First of all, it was 3-dimensional. This middle part can spin. Also, both the top and middle of the boxes were lined and had an extra layer of depth to them. In the case of the bottom of the box where the doll actually would have been, it was lined in plastic. This is just a double layer of gold. Not just, it was done very well, I should say. And then the accessory box also was 3-dimensional. It does have that spinning piece in the middle, and it was done with almost, you almost feel like this is completely recyclable packaging, which it is not, but it has that sort of hint to it. So they started to up their game at IFDC, which is originally what led me to say in my previous Poppy Parker reviews that Poppy was taking over as the flagship line of Integrity toys. Well, let's go ahead now and see these potential hints to what's coming. But let's just go ahead one at a time and take a look at these new boxes. The Fashion Royalty, the logo itself has not changed terribly much. You still have the FR in the box. They do call it a limited edition collectible doll. It is two-toned. It's a cream with a glossy mauve at the corners. All the corners. And on the back, we're told that this particular doll was designed by Jessie Alea, and the packaging was by Alain Tremblay. The design came from North America, but it was executed and made in China. This is the big difference. If you saw when I opened the Poppy Parker, I opened it like a traditional box. I pulled the top from the bottom. This has a sort of manila envelope, interdepartmental mail opening. So you have to unravel the string, which is, by the way, a lighter shade of salmon than the mauve that you see at the corners. I was trying to think how I wanted to say that, I'm sorry. And that greater mauve color continues inside the box. Now, obviously, guys, at some point I will do the review of these dolls. This is the new box. This is the new accessory box. Usually the accessory box has tabs that hold it in place on the sides. This just opens straight up. So it opened you have the tab here, it just opens straight up. And the accessories are supposed to stay in there. In this case, her accessories popped out. I like this on first blush. No pun intended. On first blush, I like this because it's probably going to be easier to get the accessories out without having to destroy the box. It also means that you don't have to go through like little tiny compartments to get everything out. Everything is in one piece. And it could almost double like a suitcase, which I'm always into. So that's the FR box. The NuFace box is very interesting. When I first saw it on Instagram, and the boxes themselves started to leak out the day that the final payment notices were emailed to folks in the W Club. I saw this and I thought Old Vegas with the neon lights and the neon signs. And if you can see very closely, which I think is a pretty cool way to do this. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this on the video, but behind the obviously lit up letters of NuFace, you can see in what would be the appropriate darker gray coloring, the neon tubing that would feed the gas in and through to light it up. So that's a pretty cool detail. And again, you have, which I will open in a second, the manila envelope type opening. NuFace on the back, and in the lower left-hand corner, this is again a Jessie Alea design. Alain Tremblay has done the box. Designed in North America, made in China. The box is basically going to just have the lettering on it in silver or gray, depending on your palette. And the string is going to match the silver, which leads me to believe, yep, that the inside of the box is going to match the string, though the accessories are going to have the same neon sign effect. And if you just lift up, oh, she's got a lot of accessories and they're just waiting to pop out, so that, which they did, so. But again, it does appear to be a lot easier to store them. It's a lot more effective this way, I think. Last but not least, we have Poppy. Now this Poppy box is reminding me immediately of the French Connection. You have the gilded edge right at the, either the bottom of the top part of the box and the top of the bottom part of the box. You have that second and third tone. In this case, it's gold and a white dotted line that's going to follow through around the entire box. The main color is fuchsia. The gold repeats in the lettering. And there is an orange subtone, which is I presume is going to be the inside of the box. It's the box where the doll is. This matches her outfit, which I know what it looks like because we've seen the previews of it. And once more, the doll design and logo is by David Boutry. David created not only the doll, but he did his own logo. And the packaging and product photography is by Alain Tremblay. And I'm sure somewhere somebody's like, you're mispronouncing his name. I very well could be. And I was completely wrong. There is another color to this box. It is aqua blue, which is not an unknown color in the Poppy Parker universe. And much like the Parisian Connection, I'm going to lift this instead of trying to turn it. Much like the Parisian and the UK, the accessory box is at the very top. So again, so you don't have, I think they've done now having the tabs in on the sides of the doll box for you to pull out the accessories, and then you have to sort of do some yoga to reposition it. Her box is at the top. So this video is just coming in at over 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So the next thing you're going to see is my review of either the Fashion Royalty, the Poppy, or the NuFace. And if you'd like, you can always pop forward roughly to the 11-minute mark, and that will be the start of the review of the dolls proper. And I look forward to seeing you in there in a few minutes. So we're back, and I'm about to reveal Eye Candy Rayna Ahmadi. The first thing to tell you is this is the first time Rayna has had a last name. We now know that it's Ahmadi, A-H-M-A-D-I. And here is the lady in Eye Candy herself. Very interesting mixture of casual and high end. And I was trying to find the words to say it. And the clash begins almost immediately. So let's go ahead and bring her a little bit closer. And I'm going to pull the lights in. Bring the camera up. Rayna has what they call strawberry blonde hair, which is kind of echoed in the very strawberry eyeshadow that is at the very top of her eyelid. Underneath it is a more traditional brown on the lower lid. She has real lashes. They are nowhere near as long as Eugenia's Modernist lashes. They are applied. She has very, very light pink blush on her cheeks and a matte pink bow lip, cupid lip. She's also wearing, and this is where as I was saying, this is where very interestingly the conflict starts. She's got these very casually huge gold hoops, but then her necklace, the centerpiece of it is a very nice, like a royal jewel center, but then it gets very casual because you have this crescent moon, which you will also see on her ring. And then she's got these very 80s bangles on her wrist. So again, you have the very formal blue, but you also have the very 80s bangle gold. What you also have, you have the hardware, if you will, the nuggets of gold at the sides, both sides. I'll continue to turn her. Hopefully she'll continue to stand. There we go. The pants are going to close with hook and eye, as really does the top here with hook and eye, though you have that faux string closure right above the waistline too. Her hair does have some product in it to maintain the waviness. So if you want it to be completely loose, you're going to have to wash it out. What you also have are these very nice denim heels, heeled sandals, I should say. Clunky heels with a sand sole. And then just to turn them frontwards, open toe. Her toes and her nail polish are going to match her lip as per the tradition of Integrity Toys. By the way, her eyes, in case anyone is wondering, are hazel green. So she's got this very casual look that everything works. Again, I know I'm obsessing over this, except for that middle piece. And I remember that jewelry like that came with the imperialist Russian character from Fashion Royalty, who, of course, her name just went out of my head. So I'll probably type it in somewhere down here and tell you who she is. But this part of the jewelry, this one piece of it, reminds me of that era of Fashion Royalty looks. And that's not even NuFace, by the way. She was not a NuFace doll, so they brought a little bit of that into NuFace. She also comes with, and in some of the photographs you see her wearing, as rolled up as a bracelet, this green, teal green handkerchief. If you remember when they did Applejack from the My Little Pony line, they used the handkerchief to do some of the show motifs in it. Not here. This is a much more traditional patterned handkerchief with butterflies and little stars and whatnot. So you could actually, if you wanted to, also flip this into a home. Stick this in his pocket as like a suit. You could do that. And the one other accessory she comes with, and this I totally did not get. This is supposed to be Rayna's purse. And it is a purse because, well, it's a clutch because you put it over her wrist like so. And if you look here, this has got a little bit of elastic that you can open it, and you can actually see it opens. If you have to, I'm not quite sure how you would do this, but you could technically open it and put something in there. But I think mostly it's just for show, which would be fine, because if anything else like this looked like an ice cream cone. If this was supposed to look like a comet and a tail, I could get that because you've got the moon. If this was supposed to look, or if, you know, that was a ice cream cone, then at least that would make sense, or something else related to ice cream. So this is a cool accessory, but kind of off with the jewels in the outfit, in my humble opinion. But this is NuFace, and it's supposed to be edgier, and I never get that. But I will, of course, put this on her so you can see the whole look, or at least most of it. And again, still with that necklace. I know. It's like, Babs, let it go. Of course, as all Fashion Royalty dolls do, she does come with the dialing hands, or the iPhone hands, whatever you want to call them. And that is her look. It's not, and by no means is this a bad look. I just, given that they've done better jobs in the past connecting the dots between the outfit and the accessories, I'm a little surprised, or I'm out of it, or I'm just not fashion savvy. And I'm pretty sure I can just about hear my brother saying, "You have no fashion sense." Well, that may be true. But this is, I mean, so far of the two, I like her look the best. I like her accessories the best, even if they don't necessarily go together. I like the fact that you can put these together in different ways. You could put this necklace on a much more formal look. Obviously, the jewelry, because it's gold and it's not really engraved or anything, can go with different pieces. You could put a shirt underneath this, or a denim jacket over it, and it would still look great. You could take these shoes anywhere. So this look does have a lot of different possibilities for where it can go and what you can do with it. And I look forward to seeing in other pictures that I'm sure I'm going to see over the next couple of weeks what other people do with her. She's definitely a hint. If this is where NuFace is going for the year, this is going to be very interesting. And I'm curious to see how far Jessie takes it. So for Rayna, and and one other thought before I go. Rayna's last name, Ahmadi, Ahmadi. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it's Middle Eastern. Yes, there are Middle East, and very interesting that they're going with the more European Middle Eastern than the African Middle Eastern. So, not a bad look. I'm just curious to see how much of her Middle Eastern is going to come out in other ways. And now that I'm thinking about it, Middle Eastern, Crescent Moon, Islam. Maybe that's why the two pieces are together, the solid royal gold piece at the top and then the crescent moon underneath. I don't know. Maybe we'll see where that goes in later pieces of Rayna, later pieces of NuFace. So for me and Rayna, this is Barbara, and I will see you in my final W Club doll review, which is going to be Soda Pop Puppy.